Welcome to Driveway Garage. Today I'm changing the oil on my wife's 2020 Subaru Crosstrek. I'll show you, it's pretty easy, so I'll show you what's going on. So here's the Crosstrek. Now the filter sits up here, it's pretty small. This one was super tight. I went to a shop last time, I usually try to do it myself, and I put Wix filters on. This one was so tight I had to use some channel locks. I didn't have a small enough oil wrench. And I mean, you can see how much I damaged the filter, squeezing it so hard to try to get it to move. It was on there tight. Doesn't need to be that tight. Now to get to the drain plug, it's pretty much in the center underneath. Let's go down into there and I'll show it to you. There's this splash guard under here. And toward the back of the splash guard, there's an opening. And inside there's the drain plug. You can see the oil dripping out. Now that's a 15 millimeter bolt. I got it here. A lot of them, I guess, it's 17 millimeters. I was Googling it. And it's taking so long, I decided I can just crawl under there with a couple wrenches. This was tight too. I had to take a wrench and put another wrench on it to get enough leverage to pop it loose. But once it was loose, it was fine. So I let that drain just a little bit more, and then we'll put the plug back in. It takes 5 quarts of oil. I got a Riley's House brand. Let me get out from underneath here. So here's the oil I got. Full synthetic 0W20. And this is the Wix filter that fits it, 57055. And when you put the filter on, put a little bit of clean oil around the ring. I'll show you here. Let's finish this up. Well, once you get the filter loose, you can unscrew it by hand. Now all your oil is going to drain down, so you don't have to worry about making a mess. And then discard your filter someplace, like, you know, a trash can. Now, I don't even see a rubber gasket on there. Maybe that was the problem. Let's go take a look. Well, would you look at that? Something you got to watch out for. There's the rubber gasket that seals it. So, that's not supposed to fall off there, but it did. Now, I'm going to pause it for a second. So I got you guys set up on the tripod. I have a new microphone, but I'm not going to bother hooking that up. First thing you want to do is get a little fresh oil, run it around the rubber seal. Now also I'm going to take this dirty rag, kind of clean, and wipe off around where this rubber goes. Okay, that's pretty clean. Let's put this back on. When you put it on, just tighten it up by hand. You don't need to put a wrench on it. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to get off. And right next to the filter, see that yellow cap there? This is where the oil goes back in. And of course, we want to make sure we put the drain plug in first. I've got the drain plug here, and I've got a little bit of brake clean. I'm just going to spray it off so that it's relatively clean. Don't want to make sure you don't lose that washer like I almost did. It might be recommended to get a new crush washer, but I didn't get one, so we're going to make do with this. So, put you guys back here. I'm going to pause it and go down and put the drain plug in. And when you put this in, use your wrench to tighten it, but don't over tighten it. You know, you're not trying to have a Hercules contest here. Just snug it up good. Otherwise, it's going to be a son of a gun to get off the next time like this one was. Well, they say different strokes for different folks, so I like to use my transmission funnel when I'm filling up oil because it has more capacity. You don't have to go pour so slow. You don't have to worry about running over. So you put that down there in the fill neck. You guys see all right? I'll get you a little closer. Oops. Stepped on my wife's keys. She won't appreciate that. Now, takes 5 quarts. So just start dumping her in. Now it's filling up the funnel pretty good. It was up to here, so I slowed down. You want to make sure your funnel is stable because nothing worse than fill that baby full of oil and then it tips over and you splash oil everywhere. Alrighty. Now the paper seal on top of this oil, I tried to bust it with my finger and thumb. That didn't work, so I had to take my knife out and cut it in half. Now make sure when you're peeling this off, you take it all the way off of there. I saw a video the other day where they was having trouble with low oil pressure and they took the oil pan off, and the thing that goes on top of your oil can here was down in the oil pan. It went all the way through the engine and it got sucked up in the pickup tube, so it was blocking it off. So don't make that mistake. But now I'll let this drain for a minute and then I'm going to start her up, let it run for a minute, shut it off, make sure I don't have any leaks, and get it back on level ground, and I'll check the oil, but it should be good. So give me just a minute. So I have this old painter's pan. I used to do a lot of painting. I don't use it anymore, so it works really good for changing oil because it holds a lot. That's 5 quarts there. It'll hold, I think I've dumped 7 quarts into it, which is a little much. But then I take my jug that's left over, I took the oil, clean oil out of, and I'll make sure it's someplace that won't tip over. I put my funnel in the old jug, and then I will pour this oil into the old jug, and then I can recycle it. Works good for me. So let me go ahead and get this finished up. One thing about these, you don't have to worry about your oil filter leaking. It's not underneath like a lot of them. So basically you just have to get under there and make sure your drain plug isn't leaking. So I'm going to crawl under there and look at that. I already started it up, let it run, revved it up a little bit, get the oil going, and we should be good to go. Well, that wraps it up. I got the oil changed, no leaks. I'll drive it off the ramp, put it back in the garage, and we'll be good for another 5,000 miles. Most of the time I try to change it myself because last time I had one done, it was like $100. I can't remember what this cost, but it's a heck of a lot less than that. I figured my time's free. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps somebody out. Something I forgot to mention. I might have mentioned it, but I actually did it. I got it on level ground and shut it off, let it sit for a few minutes, and I checked the oil level, make sure it's good. And it is. It's right up to the full mark. Don't forget to do that, just in case whatever information you have is wrong. You don't want to underfull or overfull. Thanks again.